Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
Is there a good way to be laid off? I don't think so. I don't think so. Welcome to Drive Time. It's Jason. Chad is still in studio finishing his National Chocolate Day treat. We will.
Very good from Hen House. Thank you, Susie.
Hen House is sort of a sleeper restaurant in downtown Minneapolis. It just it doesn't get a lot of attention.
It's crowded all the time.
But if you're there, especially on the weekend, it's like, holy moly. They're good people. Good stuff. Target today, as I'm texting my friends who are waiting to find out if they have a job. Two of my friends, one a friend of the show, our advice columnist, Ask Adri. She works for Target. Another one of my very close friends works for Target. Both of them still have their jobs today. But this morning, what an absolute cluster.
Did they get an email at 9:17 saying they still had a job, as the Tribune suggests?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, which you would sort of need that, right? Because everyone talks.
Or if you just don't get an email, you do have a job. You could do it that way.
I guess what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
Everybody today talks to each other. So as soon as people on your team get a meeting invite at 8:15 that says you got a meeting at 9, where you got to log into some Google Meet or Zoom or whatever. My bottom line is this, and I welcome your feedback at 651-461-9226. If you are someone who grew up thinking that you love your job, you love your company, and your company has your back, get a clue, because they do not give a crap about you. When it comes time, now this is maybe different if you work for a very small business or a small family. But if you work for any company that has more than 100 people working there, if they got to make a number, you're a line on a spreadsheet. I mean, how do you feel otherwise today? Target is in many ways the most significant employer. It's not the biggest, but it's the most impactful employer, certainly in downtown Minneapolis, perhaps in Minnesota. Who else is bigger? Maybe Mayo Clinic. Of course, the state, but as far as the private sector. And today, in the Minneapolis headquarters, about 530 or so people are out. In Brooklyn Park, 287 people are laid off. So combined, it's more than 800 people in the Twin Cities. And just think about this. I've never been laid off in my life, but working in this profession every day, I think might be my last. I mean, it's just the reality of working in broadcasting. And you feel like at some point you're going to walk in and they're going to tell you you're out. The fact that you get that news in a online meeting where they can't even get the sound right, it just underscores that they don't care about us. They don't. It does make me question the level of work. I mean, I'm not trying to have like an existential crisis on the air right now, but why not? I mean, I think about my job. I bust my butt. Like, I probably am thinking about work most hours of the day. This job, I'm thinking about the show. When I was on TV, I was thinking about the news. I was thinking about how I could make the newscast better. I basically formulated my life around the idea of how could I make more money for someone else? This is what all these people were doing at Target, right? How can I make more money for my company? It is the American dream, right? But then on a day like today, these people who, many of whom just reorganized their lives to come back to work. Target was getting people back to the office, only to tell 800 of them, you know what? Actually, you can stay home. Why do we give so much of ourselves to our jobs? Maybe it's because we think if we give so much, we'll avoid this sort of circumstance. Well, I don't know. I've always thought like I would try to work in a way. I remember thinking this in my very first job in TV, that I wanted to be so unique as an employee that when it came down to who they were going to lay off, that it would never be me. They would say like, well, we can't get rid of Jason. But when you look at something like today where the bosses don't even look you in the eye and tell you you're done. You go to some generic online room, again, where they can't even get the audio right, which is just classic corporate America. And frankly, a classic sort of metaphor for what Target has been doing to itself over the last couple of years. They can't even get this right. But you go to some big old room, and I get it. Like, we're a digital world. There's no way to do layoffs in a person. I don't know. Is there a better way? Do you even care? If you're getting laid off, maybe you don't care. Is it better? Is it better to have your manager look you in the eye and tell you that, business is business? Or is it better to have it impersonal? Let's go to Jerry in Savage on the CCO Talk and Text line. Jerry, thanks for listening, for calling in. You're on the air.
Good afternoon. I'm just wondering how long this plan has been in the works, where they insist that everybody comes back to the office just to see how many people they could get to quit, so they wouldn't have to extend benefits, give any kind of separation, bonuses, whatever. Just say they didn't want to come back. I mean, it could have been 1,400 people or 1,600 people, but 600 just didn't come back.
And Jerry, you are right on the money with this, because they eliminated 800 unfilled positions along with the layoffs that happened today. So I think you're onto something. I would wager a guess that many of those 800 unfilled positions are people who said, like, I'm not coming back to work.
So you probably save 1,600 or 2,400 months of insurance premiums alone.
Yes. Yeah. That's a great theory, Jerry. Thank you. And it's smart to a certain degree, but again, goes to my larger point that they don't care about.
That's just it. I admire what you said about wanting to make yourself as indispensable as possible. Chad told his story of getting let go from Clear Channel earlier today. And that honestly was one of the first times I started to think, you know what, we're all just numbers on a spreadsheet after a point.
Yeah.
That really isn't about how indispensable you are. It's about what numbers attached to your name to get to a line item on a budget. Yeah. And so for me, the inspiration to do well at the job has to be personal fulfillment. It can't be about making yourself so indispensable, because like you said, corporate America doesn't care. They just don't care. They have their spreadsheet. I got to get to this number, and these many people get me to that number, and that's it. Which, you run a business how you run a business. I'm not here to judge that. I'm just saying, I'm not going to invest in some family atmosphere when I know that that's not how the company is going to treat me. I'm going to do the best job I can do for my own fulfillment and, for what I believe God put me here to do. And then that has to be enough, because anything else, you're just going to be disappointed.
Texter says, Jason, I learned this early. After college, I got my first job at an ad agency. They lost a big client and dropped a ton of staff like a sack of potatoes. Business is business. I think that is fine, but they expect you to act like it's family. And I say treat your coworkers like family, but remember that the company doesn't care. I want to get you some real information about what you can do to try to, if you can't make yourself layoff proof, how do you make yourself layoff prepared? We'll do that with a hiring expert in just a minute here on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
You know, Chad just told me he is leaving the station to go see my guy Chuck over at JH & Sons. It's Jason here for the best men's clothier in Minnesota. JH & Sons has the best brands, the best selection, but most importantly, it's the best people. You go to JH & Sons at the Galleria in Edina, and Chad is going to see Chuck, and Chuck has, it turned out Chad didn't know until he reached out to them. He was like, oh, it's Chuck. Chuck has been taking care of me back when he worked downtown at back in the day when you had suit shops and men's clothing stores all over the place. Today, you just have one spot you need to go to. It is JH & Sons at the Galleria. They have me looking good. They have me looking better. I mean, you have a starting point, right? They're not magicians, but they're pretty darn close. The latest fabrics, they've got it. The latest designers. I am wearing Italian pants from Italy right now. I feel so sophisticated. So chat. I don't know a lot of arrivederci. I don't have a lot of Italian. The pants are not actually teaching me Italian, but they sure feel nice. Get the greatest fashion, the greatest expertise from your true experts. jhandsons.com is the website. But go see the team at the store at the Galleria in Edina.
You can do this. Why? Because no one cares more about your money than you. Right now, many have concerns about their retirement, their investments. Are these mutual funds a poor investment? Did you know that with the average fees of 2%, you could be missing out on upwards of half of your potential retirement dollars? That's pretty high for management, especially when 75% of these funds underperform the market. At Trading Academy, our mission is to empower you to take control of your investments. Text investing to 210-210. Take control of your financial future. Maybe it's to just have a better conversation with your broker. Sign up for a free investing class, local classrooms, one-on-one mentoring, how to protect your investments against inflation. Text investing to 210-210 or go to learnwithota.com.
You need to get eyes on your house if you want to sell it for the most money possible. Putting pictures of your home online just isn't enough. You need a real estate agent by your side, like my friend, the Good Neighbor agent, John Schuster. He reaches thousands of potential home buyers every single day with his marketing system. Sarah and Paul just worked with the Schuster Group with Coldwell Banker Realty to sell their home, and that marketing system made a big difference. They interviewed a ton of agents, and it was clear to them that John would get the job done. He made sure their pictures were the best online, but that marketing system of his did so much more than that. It helped Sarah and Paul have 20 showings in a single weekend. With that much interest, it shouldn't be any surprise that John sold their home for more than $50,000 above asking price. They knew they made the right choice. Curious what your home's worth? Type in your address on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
Well, at a certain point, you can't even entertain the stupidity.
We do that for 3 hours every day.
Yeah, it's exhausting, isn't it? I don't know how you do it.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, so what do we do? You know, on a day like today where you hear about so many people, and most of us, you know someone who works for Target. But even if not, like, all of us want to make sure we're in the best position possible if layoff time should be around the corner. And Jenna Eslick is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Jenna is Verseek's president of human resources. Verseek is a fantastic hiring and recruiting firm here in the Twin Cities. Jenna, good to visit with you.
Hi, good afternoon.
All right. So what is the number one thing that you would say, you know, the rest of us, I'll ask about Target people who are laid off in a minute, but for the rest of us who have jobs right now, what should we be doing to try to have us ready should a layoff come?
Yeah, great question. You know, there's a couple of things that I would suggest. So the first is really, you know, thinking about your personal brand. So that means LinkedIn, having your LinkedIn profile updated, having your resume updated, and really with the focus of reflecting on your skills and experiences and those transferable skills and experiences. There's such power in networking. So, you know, I think it's easy when you're internal at a company to oftentimes lose sight of external networking, but that is really important. Your network is such a powerful thing. So tapping into your network, your personal brand, activating your network, being aware of partners who are there to support you.
What do you, Jenna, what do you mean by personal brand? I feel like most people just go to work and do their job. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So what do you want to be known for? If you are looking for a new opportunity, or you think you might be in a position to be looking for a new opportunity, prepare how you'll speak to yourself or what it is that you're looking for. So, you know, if you are impacted by a layoff, something to the effect of, my position was eliminated due to a company restructuring. I'm now looking for an opportunity where I can use my skills and experiences in XYZ. So being clear around who you are and what you bring to the table.
Makes sense. Jenna Eslick is with us from Verseek, which is a recruiting and hiring firm. For our friends at Target, almost 800, a little more than 800 people in the Twin Cities laid off today. Obviously, today you mourn, right? Or you drink, or you do whatever it is you do, and you feel what you feel. What should you not do this afternoon after getting that news that you were laid off?
Yeah, well, it's such a hard thing. So I don't want to minimize that at all.
Right.
You know, losing a job is it's a life-changing experience. And so you're exactly right. There are a lot of emotions that come with that. And so kind of allowing yourself to sit in that and experience that. I would say not sitting in that for too long, right? Getting out there and starting to network. And, you know, we talked about the personal brand. Activating your network is so powerful, and really telling others within your network how they can help you. I find that so many people are willing to help. You just really have to put yourself out there and ask. The other thing is, and this might be something that Target impacted employees may be eligible for. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the details of their severance, but outplacement services or career coaches can really help with that transition. Also leveraging a recruiting partner like Verseek Executive Professional and Interim, who are experts within the market and have really deep relationships with local companies and know who's hiring and can really help you navigate your job search.
Jenna Eslick is with us right now. You know, you've been in HR a long time. I think a lot of us struggle with like the lack of humanity around the way layoffs are done now. You know, there was a time when you get called into the office and your boss would have a face-to-face conversation. And now we all report to like a Google Meet or a Zoom or something. Is there a humane way to do this, or is it just like no matter how you do it, it's kind of going to suck?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It's never a great experience. But I think that, those in leadership positions and those within HR really do not take these decisions lightly and are looking for what is the, most caring way that they can communicate that message and support impacted employees. But it is hard, logistically, when you're dealing with impacts to so many employees at once, with Target numbers, and we're hearing Amazon, like first round layoffs, 14,000.
Yeah,
that's
staggering.
It is hard to communicate, one-on-one with that many individuals. But I do know that there is a lot of care and planning that goes in behind the scenes to try to make that, as
well. What else would an HR person say? Come on, Jenna. You were at Target the last time there was the massive layoff. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I empathize, and the only reason I empathize with HR people is because my mother-in-law was one. Otherwise, I would hate you guys. I would hate you guys like everybody does.
Oh, come on.
No, of course not. It is hard. It's hard for everybody, for sure. The last question I want to ask you is about the hiring market. I mean, I still think that when you have Target on the resume, it is one of those marquee type companies that people say like, all right, if you could make it there, you could probably contribute to our company. Is that still the case out there? Is it still a marquee name for these, 800 plus folks who are going to be looking for work?
I believe that it is. Target has such great name recognition, both locally and nationally. And I looking back at my experience when I was there in 2015, and there was a significant layoff at that time, so many of those impacted employees went on to land in such great positions outside of Target. And so I do believe that still is the case, that they'll bring the great experiences and skills that they gain from Target elsewhere. And I mean, that's a great opportunity for other companies to really tap into, some talented employees. All
right. Wallow in the sadness. We honor that. Don't send the FU boss email. Don't do that tonight. Don't probably close the computer after you go to the bar. Don't do anything that you're going to regret some point down the line.
Well said.
See, I'm giving the real advice, Jenna. You're like, worry about your personal brand. I'm telling people don't send a drunken email to the boss. That's, we should team up on this. You give the high level, I give the low level. That's what I'm here for.
Okay. I like it.
Jenna Eslick is with Verseek. Jenna, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's 3:31. We're going to break in just a minute. Some of us are maybe still waking up a little bit. And by some of us, I mean Dan Cook, who stayed up for that entire World Series game.
Oh, what?
When Dan told me he stayed up, I think that he's absolutely crazy. So Dan will explain himself, and we want to know from you, like, what is the thing you're unreasonably committed to? For Dan, it was that game last night. We'll talk about it at 651-461-9226. Drive Time on a Tuesday. Coming back.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Livia Weight Control Centers wants to hear from you today. It's Jason from my friends at Livia. Oh, my goodness. What Livia is doing right now when it comes to GLP-1s, when it comes to nutrition, the whole thing coming together, it is unbelievable. The latest technology, they've got you covered, no problem. The greatest people, they've got that too. Livia's got a new 3-month nutrition plan, and it is more affordable than ever. Right now, Livia is giving you 1 free month of GLP-1 medication. And so whether it's nutrition, GLP-1s, microdosing, one of Livia's other many new services, Livia's got a complete weight loss solution that is designed exactly for your needs. They can do it in center. I go to Coon Rapids. They can do it virtually if that works best for you. For more than 15 years, this is what Livia has been doing, helping people lose weight and helping people keep it off. It's personalized coaching. It's proven plans. I lost 45 pounds. I could not have done it without Livia. And most importantly, I've kept that weight off for 3 years. That's what it's really about. So don't wait. Don't wait. My life has been changed, and I'm not going back. Livia is complete nutrition and sustainable results. 855-GO-LIVIA or visit livia.com.
I'm sorry, but I'm switching stations. I just prefer to listen to WCCO.
I don't understand. Things were going so great. What happened? Something must have happened.
It's not you, it's me.
You're giving me the it's not you, it's me routine? I invented it's not you, it's me. Nobody tells me it's them, not me. If it's anybody, it's me.
All right. It's you.
You're damn right it's me.
They know. You know. Stay here for a healthier relationship with your radio and your station. News Talk 830 WCCO.
In construction, things don't always go according to plan. Delays, disputes, unpaid invoices, they can cost you big. That's where Helmuth & Johnson comes in. Our construction law team focuses on contracts, litigation, lien claims, and more. Whether you're a contractor, developer, or supplier, we've got your back. Protect your project, protect your business. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side. Visit hjlawfirm.com. That's hjlawfirm.com.
Let's go! You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Keeping an eye on things for Highway 65, the area of County Road 10, the scene of an accident involving a semi. If you're going to be traveling through the area, the northbound lanes are currently open. However, the southbound lanes, again, 65 southbound to County Road 10, are currently closed until further notice. 610 westbound, East River Road, crashed off to the left side. Get ready for some minor slowing in the area. Some slowing for North 35E, Maryland Avenue, heading up to Wheelock Parkway. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, let's check in. It's been a rainy day throughout the Twin Cities. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The rain showers will move out tonight. We'll drop back to about 44. Mostly cloudy conditions the next couple of days. We should have highs around 53, which is a degree or two above average. Then we slip below average. A little chill on Halloween Day, mostly cloudy with a high of 48. Temps likely running in the low to mid 40s during trick-or-treat time. Should stay dry, though. Scattered showers don't reappear till Sunday.
You know, people on the YouTube stream are very concerned that I don't have any floss because I've been picking at my teeth and I forgot we're streaming this on video. I got a little bit of that kale bowl I had for lunch stuck in my teeth. Our current temp is 54. Cook, do you have one of those toothpick or
no?
All right, hit the button.
Jason DeRusha.
Anything that we can do to proliferate his legacy. I mean, he's obviously a massive star and has done incredible things, not only for the world, but for Minneapolis and St. Paul and Minnesota.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
What time is it?
All right, I got it. I got the kale out of my teeth. We got Mike and Jonathan and Benjamin. Everybody concerned about my... Well, you know, I recorded a podcast earlier today.
Yes.
With the owner of Brim. Brim is a healthy, delicious restaurant. There's one in Uptown near Bidet McCoska. It was kind of sweet. Like the owner met her husband. They were both running around the lake.
Aw.
He had runner hair, looked really good looking guy. They smiled at each other and then they
next thing you know,
year later they were married. How about that?
Great.
So anyway, they opened a restaurant. She came in, did the story, gave me a kale bowl. And I ate it during our meeting.
Yes.
Today. And then I got a little bit stuck in my mouth. But I got it. I have a fork. Who needs floss? You know how I feel about floss.
Big scam.
Do you guys know how I feel about floss? I've talked about this before, but I think big floss it's one of the many things that the medical establishment tells us to do in order to make us feel like we're doing something and also to make us feel guilty if we don't do it. But the actual benefit of flossing is zero. Nothing. It's like the number one thing you can do to prevent getting the flu. You got to wash your hands and just wash your hands a lot. And I'm convinced it's all a load of crap. Wash your hands? It's 2025. The best that medical science has to offer is take this piece of string and cram it between your teeth and go wash your hands and probably sing like A, B, C.
Yeah. Happy birthday, I think, is another one.
It's all a load of crap is what I think.
So you're unreasonably committed to those bad takes.
That's right.
And I'm unreasonably committed to watching a baseball game after a certain point. So the World Series last night tied a record for the longest game at 18 innings.
Yes.
Walk-off home run by Freddie Freeman in the bottom of the 18th at Chavez Ravine in L.A. And the thing of it is, you get to the ninth. I'm one of those people because I'm a big baseball nerd. When you get to the end of the ninth inning and it's tied, free baseball, baby. You paid for 9 innings, you're going to get more. How bad could this possibly be? Except when you get to about, I don't know, the 14th or 15th inning.
Yeah.
Okay, we can wind this up now. I love baseball. This has been great, but it's 11:30. Kind of would like to get a nice night's sleep here. Can we maybe move this thing along? And
right.
then the 16th inning comes, and then the 17th inning comes. And at some point, you're starting to do the calculus. I've committed myself to watch this game. I want to see what I'm sure is going to be a dramatic finish, and it was.
Well, it has to be by definition.
Kind of, yeah.
And you're left with this question, was this an amazing game or was this an amazing moment that happened at 1:40 in the morning?
That's the question, right? Because there were amazing moments throughout this game. I really do believe it was one of the better World Series games we've seen, at least in the last decade. It was amazing. Back and forth, lots of action, lots of close plays, lots of opportunities for teams, especially in the later innings, to take the lead and end the game right then and there, and they just come up a strike or two short,
right.
Whatever it is. It was, but I'm feeling like I've got to watch this. I physically could not make myself go to bed because I've gotten this far.
Yeah.
I got to see this thing through.
I think there are two different types of people.
Knowing this was going to cost me sleep, knowing that this was going to impact my performance for you on this show today.
Well, I don't know about that.
I decided
as good as normal.
I don't know if that's what I wanted to hear, but I had to see the finish of it. And I understand in the moment, this is unreasonable. I should have gone to bed. This is just a baseball game. I can catch up in the morning. I couldn't do it.
Is it? So I'm fascinated. I'd love to hear it. 651-461-9226. Is there something you have an unhealthy level of commitment to? Is there something like Dan that you should wrap it up? And for me, it's my anti-floss tirade. Like I will never back down. I will never change my mind on big floss. My unhealthy level of commitment is probably to knowledge of game shows and game show hosts. That's not really unhealthy.
Right. That's the thing of it.
What's Benjamin in the YouTube chat room is saying his unhealthy level of commitment is to drive time with DeRusha. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
So I'm fascinated by did you stay up that late? You're familiar with the sunk cost fallacy.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's what I was battling.
So sunk cost fallacy is sort of when you've spent $200 on something and it's not going to be a positive outcome. You feel like, well, I've already spent $200, so I better spend the extra $300 because I got to get to the finish line because I already spent $200.
Yep.
So like I started watching that baseball game last night. My wife is an angel, but she is not really a baseball fan.
Certainly not 18 innings worth, I wouldn't imagine.
We often have discussions about what makes a good pitch in baseball, which is a hilarious thing for a non-baseball fan.
Which would have been relevant last night, because that breaking ball that Clayton Kershaw threw to get out of the bases loaded jam with 2 outs and a 3-2 count was an incredible pitch, even though it was technically going to be a ball until the guy swung at it and grounded it to second base.
Jonathan in Minneapolis is on the line. Unhealthy.
Yes,
what do you have an unhealthy level of commitment to anything, Jonathan?
Well, Jason, we've been calling into your show now, for almost 2 years, right?
Yeah. It's probably
a little bit of an unhealthy situation for me, because I love you guys, but it's very draining being me when it comes to you and your show. So it's a little bit unhealthy, but it's a good unhealthy. But honest to God, dude, what's been going on with you guys? Did you decide to move to St. Paul or not?
Oh, I mean, I can't reveal, Jonathan, I can't reveal all of the endings of my exciting social media teases.
And the other thing I wanted to say is that my unhealthiness is when I used to worry about what people actually really truly thought about me. I just don't give up that anymore. I do not care to engage with crazy anymore. And I finally said to myself this for Thanksgiving, I said, no, I'm not coming in. I'm taking care of me for the first time in 56 years. And if you don't like it, blank, blank, blank. And I blanked myself.
I like it. I like it. Thank you, Jonathan. I think that's right. That's pretty good. Like, that's a tough, unhealthy thing to get over, right? Like caring what other people think about you. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think Dan, in a texter saying, stayed up for it, loved it, constant high drama. Another texter, I couldn't turn it off early. I couldn't turn it off either. Another says, best game. Yeah. So we started watching.
Yeah. At what point did you tap out?
Then Alyssa wanted to watch The Diplomat.
Oh, okay.
So we haven't started the new season, The Diplomat, so we went down and watched that. But I went to bed at 10 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
And I was, the loons were tied up.
Sure.
That was going long. Everything was going long.
So you just had no commitment whatsoever.
I just went to bed. Do you know how nice it is? You're like, I'm just going to bed.
I don't actually. I have no
it was
idea
amazing.
what that's like.
I think if I were alone, I for sure would have gotten sucked in. And it's hard to go to bed. It's hard to go to bed once you're in like the 12th or 13th. Because you sort of think, now I could see in this game going to bed in the 8th. Now that would have been sort of early.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. It was in that 13, 14, 15 range that I started to go, maybe it's time. But I felt like I was committed to watching this thing. I'd invested this much time. And if it ended 5 minutes after I turned the TV off, I was going to be really mad at myself.
So that's the question. Is it FOMO, the fear of missing out, or is it sunken costs? Like, I'm this invested, I may as well finish the deal.
I am so not a FOMO person in general.
It's a little
fun. I almost, enjoy missing out on things if in a weird way.
True.
But in this case, it was more of a sunk cost thing. I was just,
I'm in.
I had put in this amount of time. This was such a gripping game. It was so pivotal to the series.
Yeah.
I wanted to be there for the moment when they won it. Now, having said that, when Freddie Freeman hit the ball in, for the home run to win the game, I didn't the ball went into the stands. I didn't wait for the director to cut back to the shot of him rounding the bases. Once I saw the ball go into the stands, TV was off. Lights are off. I'm out. I'm going. I'm done.
You didn't need any post-game interview?
No, I didn't need to see him touch home base. So when it's a home run, it's a home run. I'm done.
I would have felt like I needed to see the whole thing play. That's so interesting.
I was done. I was so ready for that game to be over at that point. I'm just like, I gotta go to bed, man.
A texter says spending more on a transmission than my 2002 Odyssey is worth, but I bought it new. And so I have an unhealthy commitment to keep that thing running as long as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're sort of into the bit. I've learned that sleep is more important So I just go to sleep.
Well, and
then I pretend the next day that I saw every single moment. It's radio. How do you guys know? I spent all of these years.
The beauty of the internet now, you can catch up real quick.
All those years having to wake up at 2:30.
So here's what I did. I set my alarm for a half hour later than I would normally set it, thinking I'll give myself a little bit of extra cushion, because I know. And I'll be danged if my eyes didn't click open right at the usual time because the body went, okay, we're awake now.
You know what? I'm glad that you saw it, because I am
too.
I feel a little like I kind of wish that I had, like, if I flipped the game on after we watched 2 episodes of The Diplomat, would I have been hooked?
And the beauty is that game went so long, you probably could have knocked out at least half the season and it was still been going.
The game finished at what, 1:40?
1:50 a.m.
Wow. Crazy.
And I was in bed at 1:51.
You know what, man? Baseball. Like, and isn't that
it's
more
hard not to be romantic about baseball?
Isn't that more satisfying than, like, put a runner on second?
No, well, yes, because it's a playoff game.
It's the World Series.
It's the World Series. I don't want to see that runner at second. But in the middle of like July or August, do I want to see 18 innings? No, nobody wants to see that. So put the runner on second. That's fine.
Well, we might want it, like, if it was going to knock us off the air and we didn't have to work.
Okay, well, there's that. But
yes, not as a fan. Let's break. It's 3:49. Drive Time with DeRusha. You can get us wherever you get podcasts. Spotify, we're there. Apple Podcasts, we're there. Just search DeRusha, and you'll find a special treat, too, because not only do you get every segment of this show, but you get our podcast exclusive, DeRusha Eats. So check it out wherever you get podcasts.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Winter is coming. You can feel it. Can't you feel it out there? It's Jason from my friend Chris Lindahl and Chris Lindahl Real Estate. And if you are in a circumstance where you need to sell a home, maybe you inherited a home, maybe you're out of a job, maybe you've hit a tough financial spot, I do not want you to gamble with your home sale on the open market. The smarter way to sell is at chrislindahl.com and a guaranteed cash offer. It is hassle-free. It is fast. Oh, my gosh. I was talking to Chris about this the other day. You cannot believe how fast it is. Chris can get you. All you have to do is start at the website, chrislindahl.com. Click on Get a Guaranteed Cash Offer. He can get you to closing within 2 days. Cash money in your hands within 2 days of now. You'd have money by the weekend. And you're done with a headache. You don't have to clean up the house. You don't have to upgrade the kitchen. You don't have to get the crap out of there. Chris Lindahl will take care of everything. Find out what Chris Lindahl can do for you. What are you waiting for? The winter is coming. And we know what that means when it comes to the real estate market. It is not a great time to be on the open market. Don't mess around. Go to chrislindahl.com.
Hi, I'm Adam Saba, third generation at Dodge of Burnsville. As a business owner, you need commercial vehicles that have the power you need, room for your gear, and service you can count on. Let me introduce you to Business Link at Dodge of Burnsville. We have a complete line of commercial vehicles to get you and your crew on the job, and an award-winning service department that is second to none and gives you peace of mind. Stop in today and see why nobody sells more commercial Ram trucks than Dodge of Burnsville. That's why we are the King of Ram, just off Cliff Road and 35W or kingofram.com.
I'm Karen Heitz with Baird Private Wealth Management. At Baird, investing and financial planning are just part of the solution. Just as important is our personal commitment to your success. Meeting with you, answering your questions, working with your tax and legal advisors so you can see your complete financial picture come together. Focused on you, no matter what. That's how Baird's been doing business for more than 100 years. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdTwinCities.com.
Mike Lyncher inviting you to join my lovely wife, Kathy, and me on a fabulous holiday vacations, Canadian Cascades, Niagara Falls to Montreal tour, June 14th through the 23rd. Our adventure begins in Niagara Falls. Revel in experiencing the falls multiple ways with Niagara Park's Journey Behind the Falls, Whitewater Walk, a thrilling cruise through Niagara Gorge, and more. Head north to Niagara-on-the-Lake, where we'll enjoy lunch with spectacular wine at Wayne Gretzky Estates. Travel to Toronto for a tour, including the famous CN Tower, then relax on a 1,000 Islands cruise down the St. Lawrence River. In Ottawa, explore Parliament Hill, and then delight in an entertaining dinner show. Oh, Canada, eh? Our getaway concludes in Montreal with a visit to the authentic Sugar Shack. Watch it or visit holidayvacations.com. Keyword WCCO Radio. Request a brochure, watch a travel show, and book this tour. Kathy and I would love to have you along.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Heads up, Spring Lake Park, Highway 65 southbound remains closed at County Road 10 as crews continue to clear out an accident that occurred earlier this afternoon. If you're going to be traveling 10 westbound, some slowing there. Egret heading up to Round Lake Boulevard, North 169, watching heavy stuff there as you come up from 94 to 109th on the south side of the metro. South 35W slows past 106th Street down to Highway 13. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Sizzle it, sear it, shred it. From baked pork chops to air fryer pork tenderloin, Minnesota Pork wants you to taste what pork can do for you. mnpork.com for inspiration. But let's have Minnesota Pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board. Taste what pork can do. Tonight, rain showers get out of here. Low of 44. Tomorrow, 53. Kind of the same bit throughout the rest of the week through Halloween. So for all of you who are dressing up like slutty nurse, the temperature will be just fine. So congrats to you. Really, congrats to us all. Right now, I'm sorry. For all of you picking up your kids after school, I'm sorry. Sorry for that. 54 on CCO.
830 WCCO. Single game tickets are on sale now at worldjuniorsmn26.com.
Hey, what is your favorite kind of inappropriate Halloween costume? 651-461-9226. I do like on Halloween, and we'll talk in our 5 o'clock hour about what the most popular costumes are in Minnesota for this year. But every year it's always like, slutty dog catcher or, some of these things you're like, what is happening? Slutty talk radio host. Benjamin's dressing up as slutty Chad Hartman, which is just Chad Hartman. For me, it's like it's one more button down. Then it's
maybe an extra chain.
This is why you have to watch on a YouTube stream. Right now, you are getting a treat. An absolute,
oh, goodness.
Yeah. Why do only women get to dress up in the sort of inappropriate costumes? Because
women are works of art and men are like utilitarian. We're just sort of boxy and there.
I don't know. I think this looks good, though.
Sure you do.
What? Oh, gosh. All of you with teenagers dressing up for Halloween, at least mine are off at college. I don't have to worry about it. If those boys... I do have a frat boy kid, don't I? Yeah, he's probably dressing up as something without a shirt, I'm sure. Not good. Not good. First kiss. Where was yours? We'll talking about it at the top of the hour.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
Our voices, your voices on the voice of Minnesota. News Talk 830 WCCO and 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Always streaming on the
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Devastating Hurricane Melissa crashed ashore in southwestern Jamaica today.
This is definitely a storm that's going to be one for the record books.
Meteorologist Scott Padgett, the storm is now a powerful Category 4. The center of it is moving slowly off Jamaica's northern coast. Meteorologist Andrew Kozak.
This is going to continue to linger. I mean, this is a storm that you could walk quicker than it was actually moving, and that was the rule for the last couple of days.
Tourists in Jamaica are sheltering as best they can. This man from Phoenix.
Everybody's a little bit on edge. The waiting, the anxiety is probably the worst part of it. We're on the northern side of Jamaica in Ocho Rios, so we're still shielded by the mountains, but it's forecasted to hit us here, but many of us have not been through a hurricane before, let alone a hurricane of this magnitude.
Vice President J.D. Vance insisted today the Gaza peace plan is holding despite what he called skirmishes. The BBC's Frank Gardner with more on what led up to it.
Some excitement here in Israel that the next hostage was being handed over, they thought, from Hamas to the Red Cross and in turn to Israel. But forensic tests discovered very quickly that the remains that were being handed over actually belonged to somebody who the Israeli Defense Force had recovered already 2 years ago, who the family had buried. So the family are obviously extremely upset about this. Israel is furious.
And Israel launched airstrikes in Gaza. It also accused Hamas of attacking its troops. The government shutdown is on day 28, and air traffic controllers missed their first full paycheck today. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy.
We have the best air traffic controllers, the best trained, the smartest people in our airspace controlling it. That kind of work, that kind of dedication, that kind of expertise deserves a paycheck.
Jim Krasula reports on the fallout from food assistance being halted.
Democratic attorneys general and governors from 25 states and the District of Columbia have sued the Trump administration, seeking to force the continued funding of the SNAP program. The funding will be paused this weekend because of the federal government shutdown. The legal action contends the Trump administration is legally required to use a contingency fund to pay for the food assistance program. President Trump is refusing to do that.
Matt Piper reports power bills continue to surge.
A new report from Powerlines, a nonprofit focused on lowering utility bills, says rate hikes are expected to show up in electric bills of more than 124 million customers this year. Utility rate increase requests and approvals nearly double from a year ago.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy skies, 51 degrees at 4:03. Good afternoon. I'm Susie Jones. The hour's top story. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison is suing the USDA to try to prevent the agency from suspending payment on the federal government's food assistance program known as SNAP.
We argue that halting the benefits violates the Food and Nutrition Act and is arbitrary and capricious under the administrative.
His office is joining several other states in filing the emergency suit with the hope of a decision by the courts for Saturday, which is when the benefits would pause.
Almost 500,000 Minnesotans rely on SNAP benefits, about 440,000 people. This is children, this is veterans, this is seniors, and the point is to protect them.
A rude awakening for some of Target's executive staff who found out today they are without a job.
The company announced last week it's eliminating about 1,800 corporate positions in an effort to streamline decision-making, trying to rebuild its customer base, which has been declining of late. According to the Star Tribune, those employees got an email this morning instructing them to join an audio call with Human Resources at 9 o'clock to go over important information. But the audio apparently didn't work for half of that instruction. Strib reporting those who still have jobs got an email about 9:17. The cuts represent about 8% of Target's corporate workforce globally, but a majority of the affected employees work at the company's headquarters in downtown Minneapolis. Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
The Minneapolis Teachers Union will meet tomorrow to talk about the rank and file's overwhelming vote to authorize a strike. Union President Marcia Howard was up all last night counting votes.
Our phone line is open. Our email is open. Our hearts are open. And our hope is open that there are people that are willing to actually come to the table and negotiate.
The next bargaining session is set for Thursday. The number of people who die or are sent to the hospital because of a drug overdose is down. The Lower Sioux community is crediting that because of state funds. Supervisor Heather Arneson says the funds were used to distribute naloxone to anyone who needs it.
We are so grateful for these funds. They have allowed us to do so much programming, and with every event we hold, we give out those harm reduction supplies. And with every event, we are destigmatizing, we are normalizing asking for help, with both mental health and substance use.
Minnesotans with ties to the Caribbean are working to try to get supplies to Jamaica, which is being pounded right now by Hurricane Melissa.
This comes amid reports that Hurricane Melissa has claimed several lives and caused hundreds of millions of dollars in damage to the Caribbean islands. James Byron with Twin Cities CariFest says he and other organizations will be taking in donations and supplies across several locations around the Twin Cities and gave some examples of things they're looking for.
Things like blankets, tents, generators, and things like that.
He says the thing that's needed most right now are financial donations to support the effort. Visit carifest.org and select the Caribbean Disaster Relief Fund. Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830, WCCO.
WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slowdowns place, South 169, Anderson Lakes Parkway, down to Highway 101. Cedar southbound slows across the Minnesota River Bridge toward Highway 13. Watching slowdowns on 494 eastbound right now between Lindale and Highway 5 and the Minnesota River Bridge. Highway 65 remains closed at County Road 10 till further notice. The cleanup continues from an early afternoon crash. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mnexspike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna has arrived. To learn more and find it near you, visit mnexspike.com. That's MNEXSPIKE.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Moderna. Here is WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer with the forecast.
The rain showers that have been falling throughout the day will clear out tonight. 44 the overnight low. Increasing sunshine tomorrow. Temperatures right around average. 53 will be the high. I believe we matched that on Thursday with another mostly cloudy day. Cooler Friday and Saturday. Our highs slip back to the upper 40s.
Right now, cloudy skies, 51 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Because someone has to know what's going on.
Hey, what's going on?
Stay one step ahead. Or at least sound like it. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
First kiss. First kiss. Yes. I shouldn't have let Susie walk out of this room. So I wanted to ask if Susie remembered her first kiss. It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time, Hour 2. First kiss. Is there a more pivotal teenage memory than the first kiss? I don't know. I remember mine. Do you remember yours? First kiss. I want your first kiss story. It's 651-461-9226. A couple of minutes ago, I did send a Facebook message to the girl that I had my first kiss with. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you who is not going to be happy to find out that I just sent a message to Andrea Serber. It's going to be one Alyssa DeRusha. Man, when I think back of the first kiss, and there's a reason I'm bringing this up. Although it's my show, I can bring up whatever the hell I want to. There's been a little bit of media coverage in town of a Twin Cities artist who is collecting first kiss locations for a first kiss map, which is kind of, I think it's such a fun idea, right? In the Twin Cities, there are probably overlapping locations that are a common spot for a first kiss. So my first kiss would have been when I was 15 years old, 14 or 15. It was on a train station platform in downtown Chicago because I was dating a girl who went to another high school from another suburb. And so we had met and by dating, I went to speech camp. By the way, I mean, could this story get any nerdier? You know, all of you out there, all of you teenagers who are worried, is there something wrong with me? Why haven't I gotten to second base or third base or whatever the kids call this today? But rest assured that your local, you may have a future as a news talk radio host. Because I know a lot of you think of me as like probably a massive sex symbol. That there's no doubt as a teenager, young Jason was getting action left and right and up and down. But the truth is, my first innocent kiss was with Andrea Serber on a train platform, a Metro platform in downtown Chicago after we had spent a couple of hours together in the city. Me coming in from my suburb, she came in from her suburb. We exchanged a kiss. And when I sat down on that Metro train headed out to the Cumberland station, sitting down as the conductor comes to punch my ticket, I realized there was a little piece of gum in my mouth. That was not my gum. And that was my first kiss. Years later, Andrea, and we dated a couple times. We were on again, off again in high school. She was a cheerleader. I was the morning announcement guy. It was not meant to be. But there's something about that first kiss. Where was your first kiss? 651-461-9226. I'd love to have calls. Texts are welcome. All of this is part of the first kiss map. So the idea is that in the Twin Cities, there are certain locations that are hotspots. Already there are 350 smooches plotted on the map. And this artist, Dio Kramer, is going to publish a print edition of First Kiss locations and the anonymous stories behind them. Now, their rule on this, I think, is a little BS, Dan. They are taking first kisses. Any first kiss with a new person counts. I believe the first kiss, I'm not talking you're 8 and you get kissed on the playground. There's something about the first kiss. Do you remember your first kiss, Dan Cook?
I hate to admit this, but I honestly don't.
You don't? I
really,
think plenty
truly
of people don't.
Yeah. I think it's,
Would you like to make up a story for this segment?
No, I really would rather not do that because I would be an abject failure at trying to do that.
I mean, my story sounded so dramatic, didn't it? It could be totally made up.
The train and the gum and the whole bit. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Thank you. Several first kisses at the airport. One thing that I think is very funny about this project is 2 people submitted the same kiss separately, independently, anonymously. So that's kind of fun.
A friend of the show who'll be joining us tomorrow for her usual segment, Tracy Perlman, just texted me that her first kiss was after an AC/DC concert when she was in high school.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
That's a good first kiss story. Do you think after an AC/DC concert, the first kiss is going to be maybe like a little more aggressive than tender?
Probably a lot of adrenaline.
Yeah. Hard charging music. Texter says at a Minnesota State FFA convention.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you grow up on a farm, you have a familiarity with anatomy that is different from the suburban kids, It's just a little different. My first kiss, says John and Egan, was in 8th grade at school with Josephine Murphy. Oh, Josephine Murphy. It's pretty good. It's hard not to bring a smile to your face, right? When you think of, if you can remember it. I think it's certainly possible that you just don't remember it. Now, where would be the ideal spot? I feel like my first kiss is pretty good, right? Like the drama, you're getting on the train, you're going your separate ways. You had this date that was good, and then you had that kiss. That's pretty good.
Isn't the classic scenario high school dance?
High school dance.
You're on the dance floor. The slow.
Are you allowed to kiss at a high school dance? I feel like the chaperones at my school would have been separating us quickly.
Well, I mean, you're not going to engage a full out.
In.
Yeah, I was going to say you're not going to engage in a full out makeout session on the dance floor, but
yeah. School dance is pretty good. Sweaty gym. Yep. Now I think
all the emotion and drama of the high schoolness of it,
Yep. The kids now, I think they don't really go to the dance. They go to, like the homecoming dance. They'll go there for a bit, but then they go party. WCCO booth, 1998, says a texter. Well.
Really?
Doesn't get more romantic. You got that picture. 98, you had a big old picture of Boone and Erickson up there.
I mean, that would make anyone feel romantic, wouldn't it?
I mean,
well, you know what the thing of it is, though? We're right down the road from Ye Old Mill.
Yes.
How many first kisses you think there's been on Ye Old Mill?
So many. Tubbsy is aroused right now.
And hopefully leaving the room quickly.
Jonathan says his first kiss was with a girl named Kelly behind a cabin. He looked at her and said, "No, wrong team."
Oh.
And then she cried.
I bet she did.
Yeah. Standing together nervously at night outside during a break in theater practice at 12 years old, says a texter. She finally said, "There's something I have to do." And she kissed me, and I kissed her back. And we've been married for 40 years now.
Wow.
Oh, come
nice.
on.
Nicely done. That's a good way to initiate, too. Hey, there's just something I got to do.
I got a little paperwork I got to fill out over here. Something I got to get done. Keep the stories coming. There is something, I think, formative about that memory. And, we'll see. I'll check and see if my first kiss responded back to my Facebook message. I actually did get together. No, well, that turn of phrase is wrong. I did meet up with my first kiss here in the Twin Cities about a decade ago. I'll tell you how that went in just a minute here on Drive Time with DeRusha.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So many different agents to choose from, and the one that really gets you results, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Dave Peterson joins us now. Dave, what was your experience like working with the Schuster Group?
Well, after an unsuccessful attempt to sell the home ourselves and coming up short on offers, I decided on the John Schuster Group. I'd heard many success stories about the John Schuster Group while listening to WCCO Radio. I met Kieran, our John Schuster Group agent, at the home. Kieran walked us through all the options in preparing the home to be sold, handled all the details, created a stress-free and personal experience from the listing to the closing. This is what I told John Schuster when he called me. I said, "John, the experience with you guys played out just like the advertisements I've heard. Cash offer, over the asking price, and just a quick transaction."
952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
Sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Experience John Mueller's Winter Dance Party at Treasure Island. The tribute show is the official live recreation of Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Boppers' final tour. Boogie to Peggy Sue, La Bamba, and more. Friday, January 23rd. Get your tickets at TICasino.com.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Yes, y'all. Standing on the corner making eyes at the commuters making eyes. Yes, y'all.
Some of these first kiss stories are amazing. This artist who's collecting these and is going to publish a book has little anonymous quotes, including some of the following. The worst kiss I've ever had. I finally told my coworker I had a crush on them. We'd hung out a few times before and I chickened out. It turned out to be mutual and we kissed. Very fun start to his secret workplace romance. Another one, extremely awkward first kiss in car. Married now, so I guess it worked out okay.
Aren't most first kisses awkward, at least to a certain level?
I would think so.
Because you're not sure.
Yeah.
Even if you think you have a really good idea, you just, at some point, you're just kind of going for it and hoping for the best response. So there's always that.
Now, my first kiss, I felt like I did a poor job. But a texter asked if it was the girl's first kiss because the gum trick seemed rather skilled in advance.
It does seem like.
I mean, it wasn't her entire amount of gum in my mouth, I don't think.
Well, that's what makes it skilled.
Yeah. Yeah, because she still wanted some gum.
Sure.
She dated the quarterback of the football team before she was dating me, so I'm fairly certain she had some kissing experience before. What a downgrade, though. You're dating the quarterback of the football team, and then you're dating me. 7th grade at Heather Sharp's house in Roseville, says a texter. There were 4 of us.
Excuse me?
There were 4 girls and 4 boys. We kissed each boy. It was like a buffet, says Kristen in Roseville. Wow. Kristen texted the names of the 4 boys. I'm not sure if I should say the names of the 4 boys, you know?
Well, I mean, if they were just first names, you're not going to be in any trouble.
I mean, it's the full name she texted.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't read the full name.
I mean, why not? Good for these guys. Good for John Morioka. Okay. All right, I'm only throwing. And also, there's a Chad and a John. And
there's always a Chad.
There
right?
were 3 Johns and a Chad.
Well,
Kristen.
Probably tells you a little something.
First kiss, age 15. We were both Candy Striper volunteers. She kissed me. It was amazing. Famous first kiss date was at the Maroon 5 concert at the State Fair. Adam Levine asked if it was first date for anyone. We were in the first 15 rows. He had us get up on our chairs and have our first kiss in front of everyone. She said if we got married, he would sing it. Oh, he said if we got married, he would sing at the reception. We never got married. Oh,
that's a difficult story to top.
That's pretty good.
I mean, that's pretty darn good.
Kissing is not exactly an Olympic event. I think if you aren't that great at it, join the crowd. Effort must count for something, Jason. I think that's true. I don't know. It's all like,
if it was an Olympic event, would you medal?
Today? I don't know. I mean, this is a question. This is
a very subjective thing.
Yeah. Now, you know, Alyssa and I we've been together since we were 19 and 20. So our catalogs of people to compare kissing with is fairly small.
And somewhat dated.
Yeah. So at least as far as I know, I guess I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Well, Andrea didn't respond back, so I'll
yet.
She hasn't seen it yet.
Well, there you go. Then you know.
But if she does,
she's not leaving you on red.
This is why you got to listen to CCO every day. I will certainly update you. Oh, I said before the break that I would tell you about the time that we actually did meet for lunch here in the Twin Cities.
Yes.
She was in town for a convention, and she sent me a message and said, hey, I'm going to be in town. Do you want to have lunch? And so I said yes, and then asked my wife, because that's how I do it.
That does track, actually. I was wondering where Alyssa fit into that equation, because I knew you would fit her in.
Yeah,
I just didn't know where.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, the correct, as Alyssa told me later,
I'm sure she did.
The correct way to do it would have been to ask Alyssa first.
Right.
But you know what? I do what I want, Dan.
That is true. You do. And ask for forgiveness later.
And it was really delightful, actually, because she was such an important part of my younger years. But then we really had, we stayed Facebook contacts.
Right.
But we weren't in touch. We didn't, I think it's weird to stay in touch with someone that you dated before. Like at any extreme level, anything more than surfacey, it's sort of disrespectful to whoever your current partner is. And so early in my relationship with Alyssa, I had kept the love letters that Andrea and I had sent each other. Because we didn't have email then, right? So
right.
You would send like an actual.
Yes, you'd handwrite.
So we sent actual letters, and I had kept.
Was it on like the spiral bound notebook paper? So you had the little frills on the side?
Usually it was, standard.
Okay.
College rule. But I had kept all those letters in a binder in my bedroom.
Now,
and the way I tell this story, Alyssa made me get rid of them.
Okay.
But she would say that she didn't make me get rid of them, but she did query as to why I was keeping them.
Sure.
It was a fair question.
Did she find them or did you reveal them to her?
I feel like I wasn't making a secret of it. Like,
sure.
I wasn't saving them. I wasn't like,
it wasn't
sneaking
stashed in
reads.
a drawer under some other
No.
stuff, and she happened to, yeah.
I mean, I'm the same ding dong that as a kid, I had a file because, of course, I had like an office style metal desk in my bedroom.
Of course you did.
Which with files.
Oh.
And my siblings think it's real funny that I had a file marked personal. They all read everything.
Of
in
course
that
they
file.
did.
Yeah.
Why don't you put a big arrow, like a neon flashing sign pointing, here's the embarrassing stuff I have.
Yeah.
Please check it out.
I mean, the real reason you need to be streaming our show on YouTube at the WCCO Radio YouTube channel is you can see how many shades of red I've turned just during this segment. So that's pretty good. We're going to break in just a minute. DeRusha eats two women who met because of Prince and started their own spirit, their own Mezcal brand. So we'll talk about that. Plus, today is National Chocolate Day. Are you on Team Chocolate or Team Fruity dessert? Weigh in. You can start texting now. I'm taking a poll. Chocolate or fruity desserts at 651-461-9226. Drive time back in a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO. Call in.
I have to disagree with you. I like your approach.
Shape the conversation.
You do not get to tell us what we can think or what we can say.
Be heard.
I mean, I think they're nuts. Usually I disagree with you, but on this one, 100%.
You got to take.
It's completely ridiculous.
You got to move on.
Don't just listen. Come on, jump in.
Start looking at that and not start worrying about all the other political crap that's out there.
That's all I got to say about that.
Your voice matters here. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my third order. I heard Jordana on WCCO Radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old. So. And those sleep
Sleep Night Gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those Sleep Night Gummies are a real charm. Check out Minnie-Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those Sleep Night Gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini-Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Hi, Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate Team and RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Our team is here to help you with any real estate questions you may have about buying, selling, or investing. Our approach is simple. We focus on you and your best interests. No hard sales pitch, rush, or pressure. We work on your timeline. 612-294-6949, mnrealestateshow.com. That's 612-294-6949.
Imagine placing an investment or trade without fear. Knowing that big institutions have taken the same trade as you, pushing the price higher, which only they can do. You get to ride the wave of institutional demand. If not, your plan will protect you from the downside. This is how our students are taught to invest in trade. Right now, you can sign up for a free investing class where we'll outline our strategy for following the smart money. Text investing to 210-210. We'll also review strategies for growing a retirement portfolio, how professionals profit when stocks are falling, and how to protect your investments against inflation. With a 25-year history, local classrooms, and one-on-one support, you're not alone. And now it's your turn. Sign up for a free investing class today. Text investing to 210-210 or go to learnwithota.com.
MGM Wine and Spirits is the choice for savings, service, and a great selection of spirits, premixed cocktails, wines, and of course, ice-cold beers and hard seltzers. With over 30 locations throughout the Twin Cities and beyond, there's an MGM near you. Head to mgmwineandspirits.com to find a convenient location in your area. Get social. Follow MGM on Facebook and Instagram for all the latest news and trends. Make great moments with MGM Wine and Spirits, your locally owned and operated choice for over 50 years. Save time, save money. Shop MGM.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash up in Rogers to be aware of, West 94 near Highway 101. Some slowing to come away from County Road 81. Traveling 694 westbound, that's a slow ride. Highway 10 over to Highway 100. If you're going to be traveling 65 southbound, be aware it is still closed at County Road 10 to clear out an early afternoon crash. 694 northbound slowing, 94 up to 15th Street, and you're going to find slowdowns 494 both directions across the Minnesota River Bridge. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Flint Hills Resources, Pine Bend Refinery in Rosemount. You see it as you drive by. Did you know they're celebrating 70 years of producing fuels that help move us forward? To learn more, go to pinebendrefinery.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And the forecast brought to you by Flint Hills Resources. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The rain showers will move out tonight. We'll drop back to about 44. Mostly cloudy conditions the next couple of days. We should have highs around 53, which is a degree or two above average. Then we slip below average. A little chill on Halloween Day. Mostly cloudy with a high of 48. Temps likely running in the low to mid 40s during trick-or-treat time. Should stay dry, though. Scattered showers don't reappear till Sunday.
Right now in Brooklyn Park, it is 53 degrees on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
This is so cool, people.
It's so cool.
On News Talk 830 WCCO. DeRusha, he has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRusha Eats.
And DeRusha Eats is brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board. It is National Chocolate Day. So happy National Chocolate Day to all who celebrate. I am lukewarm on chocolate desserts. Got to be honest. Hate to take that bold of a take on chocolate's big day. For me to kind of thumb it in Big Chocolate's nose. If I see two desserts, one has some kind of fruit and one has chocolate, 10 out of 10, I'm going fruit forward dessert. My father-in-law, Pete, 10 out of 5 times, he's going chocolate. 651-461-9226. Which team are you on? Where are you on chocolate? We'll share those responses in just a minute. But first, I want to bring you an excerpt of the latest DeRusha Eats podcast because it's such a fascinating story. 2 Minnesota women. Both of these women are connected to Prince. And in this time where Prince is being remembered through the Purple Rain musical, which is in previews right now at the State Theater in downtown Minneapolis, soon to go to Broadway. Prince is on the mind. And so these 2 women, Ingrid Chavez and Jackie Thompson, both brought together through that connection to Prince, ended up founding their own mezcal brand, Las Melodías de la Luna Mezcal. And you think, Minnesota mezcal? And first, those of you who don't know, mezcal is sort of tequila-like. It's an agave spirit, often thought of as smoky, but not always really smoky. I just think it's cool that these 2 awesome, artistic, musical women have found each other and then found this brand. Here's a little bit of our conversation that you can find wherever you get podcasts just by searching DeRusha Eats.
So after Prince passed, Jackie was, were you the?
Yeah, we were just putting together a PRN alumni event just to celebrate, his life. And I called Ingrid to see if she'd, be a part of it and do a poetry piece if she would. And
I did.
Yes.
And you did.
Yes, and that's how that's how we first met. And
Ingrid, you're a performer and a poet and a singer, right?
I was on Paisley Park Records. I did a record with Prince, and I was also in the movie Graffiti Bridge, and I was also featured on Love Sexy, his Love Sexy album. So.
And Jackie, you were
I was
running Paisley Park,
yes,
right?
exactly. Part of the team in 96 through mid 2000 with him.
So what led you to mezcal and working together?
Yeah, well, I had in early 2012, a business partner and I decided to venture off into do an agave spirit. And from there, I fell in love with Mexico, the story, the plants, the farmers, just the people. And it led us to our love. Ingrid and I, we love agave just in general. It's our favorite spirit, to really craft a new brand. And so in 2022, we went to Oaxaca. We first decided, let's do this. And a month later, we were in Oaxaca looking for our producer.
When 2 women get together to run an agave brand, and I think a lot of our listeners know tequila. America loves tequila. Over the years, we've seen so many more different agave spirits. Mezcal is probably the second most known, but there's sotol and all sorts of different agave spirits. What is it about agave that spoke to you, Jackie?
I just, it's one of the, healthiest alcohol spirits. If you're going to have alcohol, it's the lowest in glycemic a spike for your blood. But I really love just the taste profile.
Well, this is why all the skinny girls are ordering tequila sodas.
Well, yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yes, it's
So,
the
yes.
glycemic index sort of the sugar
Absolutely.
spike. Yeah.
But the taste profiles just really spoke to my palate. And then also just how long the agave plant takes to come to maturity. At least 7 years, and some agaves 12 to 15, if not longer. So I got really interested in just the plant itself. And it's just wonderful. And, I know you just talked about tequila. Mezcal is actually the original agave spirit before tequila, and the production and then it grew into tequila after. So for both of us, we really wanted to go back to the roots of the agave, and that's why we chose mezcal.
That's Jackie Thompson, Ingrid Chavez. So take me to that time when you're in Mexico and you're meeting farmers and you're talking to plants and or not talking to plants, but talking about plants and trying different.
Talk to a plant or few.
Yeah. There's no judgment. We all talk to our plants a little bit.
Well,
but what was that like? These two women from America coming to Oaxaca to take a look.
Well, it was amazing, first of all, because Jackie's already been down this road with agave and meeting the farmers. And so I was excited to have that experience when we got there. So we went there with the intention of wanting to find a female distiller, and also that we wanted the ancestral process. So we had it narrowed down for us. So when we went there, we had, about 10 different female distillers that we got to meet, and we wound up coming back to Rosario because she's young, she's just a rock star in her field right now, and she was just very, very inspiring to us. Also, she was a single mom, and we were moms that raised our kids mostly by ourselves, and so we really connected with her on many levels besides her love of agave. So
this is Rosario
Angeles.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Angeles.
Yes.
And she is a distiller in Oaxaca.
Yes. So she's from the town of Santa Catarina, Minas, and that town is known for ancestral process. And she's actually from a tomato growing family. So they were tomato farmers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And but she grew up around this process and had this real desire to become a mezcalera.
Kind of cool, right? Like that family story, women helping women. The mezcal is available at a lot of liquor stores in the Twin Cities, Las Melodías de la Luna. But if you just say, that means the melodies of the moon, you just say Las Melodías, and you'll see it on the shelves. Pretty cool. And the fact that Prince brought those two together, I thought was really interesting. If you'd like to hear our whole conversation, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, look for DeRusha Eats. This is the latest episode that we just put online today. So pretty cool stuff. Chocolate, National Chocolate Day. Dan, the texts are coming in fast and furious.
Yep.
Because people love chocolate.
It's delicious. It's understandable.
What is to
your question?
Yeah.
If I'm presented with a fruity dessert or a chocolate dessert, 1,000 times out of 1,000, I go for the chocolate.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I will say,
having said that,
yeah,
if I asked you to guess then what my favorite pie flavor is, you would guess what?
Well, I would guess French silk.
Bingo.
Yeah. Oh. Texters saying Jason, both, of course. Yeah, that's fair. Team chocolate, in fact, dark chocolate, says Paul in Coon Rapids.
And not a dark chocolate guy.
Oh, I love dark chocolate.
I never developed the taste.
You like the milk chocolate? Milk chocolate is, well, it's just like there's more. It's a little more sugary.
That's
right?
just it. I mean, it's the sugar.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? I understand why people like it.
Yeah.
It's because you have a very unrefined palate.
Yeah.
The more refined your palate is, the more you like things that are not as easily described as delicious.
Right. No, you're
right?
1,000% on. No,
isn't it true? Like
100%.
I think about, I like bitter cocktails. Why?
I don't know.
Right. Why would I do that to myself? I don't know. Suffering. I like suffering.
Does it give you like a license to feel more refined in a way? You know what I'm saying?
It might be like there's a little bit
like
of
I could care less
oh,
about the refining nature of my palate.
You commoners who like your milk chocolate.
I mean, there's kind of that a little bit to it, you know, a
there's
little bit.
Every day is chocolate day, says a texter. Chocolate versus fruit, really hard call, says another texter. Depends on what the chocolate is. Fruit doesn't belong in dessert ever. OMG, chocolate is the only answer. Shout out to Marty's Deli for the amazing chocolate cookies. Texter says fruit over chocolate, but the number one is always caramel. I mean, that wasn't a choice.
No, not an option. You don't just get to include an option.
Caramel is delicious, or caramel.
Yes.
Chocolate flourless cake. Flourless cake is sort of controversial. Are you pro flour? You're looking puzzled like you
I don't know that I've ever experienced flourless cake before, but it makes me wonder what is the substitute for the flour.
I feel like you would like flour. If you like flourless cake is sort of like a brownie.
They're usually flour and brownies?
I don't know. Flourless cake is usually very rich. Very rich. It's like sort of fudgy. It's a little dense. It's just chocolate, butter, sugar, eggs, cocoa powder. That's it. Salt, vanilla. Pretty simple.
Sounds like a mousse.
It's sort of like that, but a little more brownie-like. Yeah. It's pretty good. Team Fruit here.
Admit it, you were kind of shocked that I was able to get to mousse just
I
then.
know that you know what a mousse is. That's pretty good.
You're welcome.
Do brownies have chocolate? I don't know. The only time I've ever made brownies is when you
of course,
get
brownies have chocolate. You're
No, I'm sorry.
Flour.
Do they have flour?
Yeah.
All I know is when I get brownies, it comes from Betty Crocker, and it's a box, and you dump it, and you add a little oil.
Perfect.
And pretend like you're making something. I don't know. Chocolate is always, it's always good. I'm pro chocolate. Trent from South Haven, pro chocolate. Another texter says it comes from a bean. Therefore, it's a vegetable.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, intriguing.
The best reason ever to have chocolate.
You know what? I'm going to celebrate tonight then. I'm going to celebrate tonight. What? Pretty funny. Thanks for all the texts, everybody. DeRusha Eats brought to you by the chocolate of proteins, pork. Huh? I don't know. Does it have to make sense? No. Also, I deserve a chocolate chip cookie for not saying immediately after saying that I love suffering, that I prove it every day by listening to the Chad Hartman Show. But I didn't say that. I did not say that. We'll be back in a bit.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
You know, a texter said sort of fudgy, a little dense, also describes the Chad Hartman Show. By the way, before I talk about the Minnesota Pork Board, we are giving away tickets to Brandi Carlile at Target Center. If you want to play Name That Tune, you have to know Brandi Carlile songs, but call right now, 651-461-9226. 651-461-9226 for your chance to win 2 tickets to Brandi Carlile at Target Center. So the Minnesota Pork Board. Oh, so glad for their support of DeRusha Eats. It's huge. And we've got a couple days left here in Pork Month. Yeah, October is Pork Month. Now, for me, it's always Pork Month, right? It's a nutritional powerhouse. We know it's high in protein. It's lean. It's mean. It's quick. It's priced right. The DeRusha family is all about the pork chop. But there are so many options for quick and easy dinner, and sometimes you get in a rut. You need new inspiration. I want you to go to tastewhatporkcando.com. They have recipes for the air fryer, the slow cooker, the grill, however you want to do it. But pork is the easiest way to get flavor at breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And I also want to remind you, as we're getting into the latter part of the year, it is time to think about ordering your ham. Thanksgiving, Christmas. Not only are you going to have a great holiday meal, you're going to support our 3,000 Minnesota family pork farmers. Go to the grocery store, go to the butcher shop, get it done. Ask for Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Hi, Denny Wong here. Whenever I'm looking at doing some home improvements around our house, I only go to Linda's Construction, a single contractor for all your home improvement needs. And right now, for the month of October at Linda's Construction, you can get 50% off installation labor on GAF asphalt shingles, Infinity by Marvin windows, Leaf Guard brand gutters, and siding, too. Call 844-9-LINDAS, or you can always get on the web at lindasconstruction.com.
Coming to the Twin Cities in December, it's the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship. Team USA has gone back-to-back. Tomorrow's superstars of the NHL will be in your backyard as Team USA looks for a third consecutive goal.
There's so much pride involved. It's Game 7 every single night. Everybody's playing for that gold medal.
Single game tickets are on sale now, starting at just $39. Visit worldjuniors.mn26.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Still working up in Rogers for West 94 and Highway 101. If you're going to be headed that way, get ready for slowdowns. 65 southbound remains closed at County Road 10, Spring Lake Park, as the cleanup continues from an earlier crash. 35 east seeing slowdowns both directions between Maryland Avenue and Highway 36. South 35W is slow between 98th Street and Highway 13. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Rain showers exit tonight, low of 44, and then 53 for the rest of the week. Right now, it is 53 on CCO.
Broadcasting from the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship Studio. This is News Talk 830 WCCO. Single game tickets are on sale now at worldjuniorsmn26.com.
I climbed across the mountain top.
Oh, I think it's going to be too easy. Brandi Carlile, we are giving away a pair of tickets for the Human Tour at Target Center next February 21st, Saturday, February 21st at Target Center. Tickets go on sale Friday at brandicarlilelive.com. But can you name that tune? Linda in Andover, you are first up. Here's that clip one more time.
I climbed across the mountain top.
Oh, gosh. I'm kind of guessing, but is it the story?
I climbed across.
You got it! Linda! Oh, congrats!
I do love her, but I was not certain on that. So yay!
It's hard when you're in the moment and you're up.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited though. I can't wait.
Oh, you snuck in there, and Ben and Lisa and Nancy and Jeremy all were waiting for their shot after you, but you did it.
Oh my gosh. And I was like, oh my gosh, all the songs I know of hers, that one I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know for sure.
That is one of her biggest hits for sure, The Story.
Oh,
so you nailed it. That is a beautiful song. She is so talented.
It is.
Oh my gosh. And
gosh.
I have got to believe this thing is going to sell out at Target Center. She's going to fill the place. But you don't have to worry about it. You have 2 tickets. Thanks.
Yay.
Thanks to Target Center. Thanks to AXS. Thanks to the team at Brandi Carlile Live.com. I think the pre-sale went on sale today. So if you're in the Brandi Carlile fan club, but then Friday is when they go on for everybody else. But you're going. How about that? You got.
Oh, I can't wait.
You've got plans for February 21st. So lock it in on the calendar. You're going.
All right. Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Make sure you stay on the line. Linda in Andover. Dan will get your information so we can get those tickets to you. And we'll do this again tomorrow. Every day this week, we have 2 tickets, Dan.
Yes.
And that one, we sort of knew that was going to be, I think that was the easiest.
Probably.
Because it's maybe the most well-known song.
Yeah. You don't have to be like a big Brandi Carlile fan to know that one. Although I'm not sure I could have told you. I mean, I know of Brandi Carlile. I don't know that I could have told you the name of that unless it was written down on this sheet here in front of me.
Well, that's the best way for us. It's right on.
Yeah, we've got all the answers. So, you know.
Frankly, that's how this whole show works. All of the correct answers are on a sheet in front of me. And I download those talking points. That's where they come from.
Straight from George Soros.
Headquarters. They just... I bet George would be disappointed, actually, if he heard the show.
Most people are.
Yeah. Well, George, like you, can listen on the podcast. George, if you're listening, you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. Just search Drive Time with DeRusha. Latest on the school. Will there be teacher strike in Minneapolis? Next.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
News Talk 830 WCCO, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Hurricane Melissa was one for the record books when it slammed ashore in southwestern Jamaica today. Sustained winds were at 185 miles per hour. The National Hurricane Center's Michael Brennan says it's exiting now.
The eye of Melissa has moved across Jamaica and is emerging off the north coast now about 15 miles east of Montego Bay, moving off to the north-northeast at 8 miles per hour. So for people in Jamaica, still very dangerous conditions across the island, a hurricane warning in effect, the potential for destructive winds and damaging winds likely to continue across Jamaica this evening, especially on the north coast, especially in the areas of high topography.
A storm is now impacting Cuba, where very heavy rainfall is expected. The Gaza ceasefire was tested again today when Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu ordered the army to carry out strikes in Gaza. Israel claimed Hamas fired on its forces in southern Gaza, but there was also anger over Hamas handing over body parts that Israel identified as the remains of a hostage recovered earlier in the war. Reporter Frank Gardner.
They're calling it a blatant deception by Hamas. They are livid with Hamas. They want there to be consequences. It's threatening the Trump ceasefire plan, I would say.
Day 28 of the government shutdown and a day closer to SNAP benefits running out for millions of Americans. Jonathan O'Brien has reaction from Atlanta.
The loss of SNAP benefits will put families under serious financial strain, and Allison Ash, president of Wellroot Family Services in Atlanta, says this can have a cascading effect on the family unit.
Economic hardship is one of the major drivers of why children end up in the child welfare system.
She says financial hardship forces families into tough decisions and can lead to abuse or neglect.
The whole family system and safety net can start to unravel.
Roughly 1.4 million people in Georgia are enrolled in SNAP.
Some airlines are feeding air traffic controllers who went without their first full paycheck today. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said shutdowns like this don't help in recruitment.
If you see that you pick a career where you may not be paid for a partial payment one paycheck, the next paycheck you're not paid, and maybe a third, that'll make you rethink, do I want to go into this profession?
There was another U.S. strike on alleged drug boats today. CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
We heard from Secretary Hegseth, and he had said that this is going to be a daily occurrence. 14 individuals were killed. The survivor, there was a search and rescue that was scrambled largely with help from Mexican search and rescue teams.
The strikes were carried out in the Eastern Pacific on 4 boats. The first time multiple strikes were announced on the same day. Stocks finished higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy skies, 51 degrees at 5:03. I'm Susie Jones. The hour's top story, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison telling WCCO Radio News that his office is joining several other states in suing the Trump administration's move to suspend supplemental nutrition assistance programs or SNAP benefits amidst the government shutdown.
So the agency claimed that it had run out of funds.
Don't talk about it on the air, please.
I don't know and can prove in court.
Like I won't say it to Chad.
And there's deliberate refusing to use billions of dollars in SNAP-specific contingency monies that are available that Congress had already appropriated.
He says more than 440,000 Minnesotans per month rely on the program for food, more than half of them seniors and children. Some of Target's executive staff are finding out today they're without a job. The company announced last week it is eliminating about 1,800 corporate positions in an effort to streamline decision-making and in an effort to rebuild the discounter's customer base, which has been declining of late. The cuts represent about 8% of Target's corporate workforce globally, but the majority of the affected employees worked at the Minneapolis headquarters office. Minneapolis teachers have authorized a strike. Union leaders will meet tomorrow to talk about the rank and file's overwhelming vote to strike. Union President Marcia Howard was up all last night counting votes.
Our phone line is open. Our email is open. Our hearts are open. And our hope is open that there are people that are willing to actually come to the table and negotiate.
The next bargaining session is scheduled for Thursday. There has been little contact between the union and Minneapolis School District administration officers since the authorization vote was announced. At issue are wages and class size. School administrators say that they want a contract that does work with the available resources. Finally, the Osseo School District has settled a sexual harassment case involving an assistant principal.
The district has agreed to a $61,000 settlement with the state and the parents of a 9-year-old student who was sexually harassed by an assistant principal during the 2021 to 2022 school year. The Minnesota Department of Human Rights announced the settlement after finding the district violated the state's civil rights law by failing to act on credible harassment reports, which ultimately led the parents to pull the girl out of the district. The Department of Human Rights will continue to monitor Osseo area schools for the next 5 years. The name of the school and the assistant principal involved have not been released. Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
I'm still working on Highway 94 westbound near 101 up in Rogers off to the right side. Slowing and continues on 35E both directions between 36 and 94. The crosstown is slow both directions between Cedar and Highway 100. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Let's try it again. Here is WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The rain showers that have been falling throughout the day will clear out tonight. 44 the overnight low. Increasing sunshine tomorrow. Temperatures right around average. 53 will be the high. I believe we matched that on Thursday with another mostly cloudy day. Cooler Friday and Saturday. Our highs slip back to the upper 40s.
All right, thanks, Chris. Right now, cloudy skies and 51 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
The unfair advantage in small talk. Be the person everyone asks, hey, how did you know that? News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, Tuesday, October 28th, Drive Time with DeRusha, Hour 3 in effect. We're glad to have you with us today. We hope you still have your job if you have one. What a day of layoffs all around the country. Amazon, massive layoffs. The tech companies do this, but here in the heart of downtown Minneapolis and the suburb of Brooklyn Park, pretty big job cuts today. Tonight, hopefully you're drowning your sorrows a little bit, being hugged by your loved ones as Target eliminated a lot of jobs. That kicks us off in the D-Rush Hour News headline.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRush Hour headlines, starting with the lead.
And our lead story is nearly 1,000 people laid off around the country. Most of these Target corporate headquarters jobs are right here, gone in the Twin Cities. Target this afternoon filed with the state that they were eliminating 528 jobs in the downtown Minneapolis headquarters and 287 at the Brooklyn Park Technology Operations Hub campus. So part of why Target made this announcement today is by law in Minnesota, you need to give 60 days notice when you're doing a mass layoff. And Target is having these layoffs take effect in early January. It is, the question of why the layoffs, I'll tell you, everybody likes to just stick their own personal Target take on top of this situation. But Target is going through a CEO transition. There will be a new CEO of Target. And they did this sort of last time they had a CEO transition. This is, in a way, part of corporate America, that when a new CEO comes in, they clear out a bunch of middle managers, and it gives the new CEO some room to take action. The question about Target and about those employees and what to do now, right? Drown your sorrows tonight, but get back out there as soon as you're able to, because the job market today is not the same as the job market was the last time Target laid off about 2,000 corporate headquarters employees. That was in 2015. Here is a hiring consultant we spoke with in our first hour today, Jenna Eslick from Versique.
I believe that it is. Target has such great name recognition, both locally and nationally. And I looking back at my experience when I was there in 2015, and there was a significant layoff at that time. So many of those impacted employees went on to land in such great positions outside of Target. And so I do believe that still is the case, that they'll bring the great experiences and skills that they gain from Target elsewhere. And I mean, that's a great opportunity for other companies to really tap into, some talented employees.
The reality is our unemployment rate right now is higher than it was a decade ago. Metro area unemployment rate is 4.1%. Concerns about AI, concerns about the broader economy, all of this is part of the equation right now. Amazon targeting as many as 30,000 corporate job cuts. They cut about 14,000 jobs today. Mass corporate layoffs. 'Tis the season as these moves get made, getting close to the end of the year. Next up in the DeRusha Hour News headlines, a question about what has happened to the Minnesota moose. Yeah, we're missing our moose. And there's a young wildlife biologist who's actually going to move to Grand Marais for the next 5 years to do research. Adam Mortensen is going to ride a snowmobile through the forest up there. Star Tribune reporting on that to help solve the mystery. This is going to involve putting collars on 80 yearling moose, 60 females, 20 males. They do it in winter. I mean, would you apply for this job? This job was issued by the St. Paul-based National Parks of Lake Superior Foundation. So here's your job. You got to move to Grand Marais. You got to get in a helicopter and get collars. You got to catch these moose, get a collar on them. And you also have to, so maybe that part you're like, all right, I could do that. You also have to collect fecal samples to lab test whether the female moose in the Grand Marais area are pregnant. I mean, I'm in. Now putting a tracking collar on an 8 to 9 month old moose seems challenging.
You think?
But picking up and testing moose poop, I don't know. I think.
I mean, that'd be gross, but not particularly dangerous.
Yeah.
Trying to collar a moose.
It seems dangerous.
Yeah, more than a little bit.
But we wish. I think Adam Mortensen is 26. You know what? That's what you're a young wildlife biologist. Good luck, my man. Good luck. What do you think about the SUNY Lee Sanctuary, the Herb Brooks Horticultural Experience, or maybe the DeRusha Den?
What are we going to call this guy?
Fred Mello reporting in the Pioneer Press at St. Paul Parks and Recreation looking for a new name for a 5-acre park. Planned for the Heights. This is a greater East Side community that eventually is going to get 1,000 new residences, 1,000 jobs. It's where Hillcrest Golf Club used to be. So they don't know exactly what's going to be in this park. Maybe a sledding hill, maybe a dog park. You know I would want a dog park if you're going to name the park after me. A raptor platform, bat houses, all sorts of ideas. And parks officials are accepting suggestions for a new name online through November 15th. How about the Dan Cook Memorial? Well, we can't call it.
Don't memorialize me. Come on now.
So there are certain factors the name could bear on geography. They set up like 4 key factors: geography, the function. So like if you're going to put an ice sheet, you'd call it the ice sheet arena. I don't know. Could be a memorial to somebody who has made significant contributions, St. Paul Parks and Rec system as well. Or it could be based in history. So the Prince Rogers Nelson Natural Roaming Prairie would be allowed. Their Habitat for Humanity is already constructing 147 affordable housing units, which is pretty cool. Teachers union strike in Minneapolis public schools. Will the teachers go on strike again?
Thursday is the next mediation date, and you might want to say this for your listeners if they hear the clamor in the background. That's the sound of picket signs being constructed right now. We're getting ready for an informational picket outside of the Davis Center, where many of our members will be meeting today at 4:30.
Yes. And we will be out there, rain or shine, in strong numbers with our community and families who all believe in educators in Minneapolis. They have our backs and we have theirs.
92% of the members of the Minneapolis Federation of Teachers cast ballots in this multi-day vote. And 92% of the 92% were in favor of putting the option of a strike on the table. That's what a strike authorization vote is. You heard Marcia Howard and Katina Taylor talking with me from the Minneapolis Federation of Educators. I want to go in depth in this and learn a little bit more about what teachers are asking for, because let's be honest, budgets are tight. People are being laid off today, and teachers are asking for 6, 7, in some cases 10, 12% pay raises. Is that realistic? We'll get some answers from Marcia and Katina, and we'll do that after a break here on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Trust the experts when it comes to your skin. You know I do. It's Jason here for my friends at Tureen Dermatology. Dr. Mohiba Tureen is my dermatologist. She is the bomb. She is awesome. I absolutely love her. And Tureen is doing something super special. It's an afternoon of beauty with a purpose. So on November 11th, one of the things that Tureen Dermatology does is cosmetic dermatology. My wife and I have both gone there for Dysport, which is like, kind of Botox-esque. And for $800, if you go to TureenDermatology.com, you can make an appointment for a peel, 60 units of Dysport, swag bag, product gift, and all of the profits are going directly to Citizens Against Sex Trafficking and the Power Over Predators program. They're going to use that money to fund education for 3,000 students. Pretty awesome stuff. Glow-Tox for a great cause. This is what Tureen Dermatology is all about. So if you need medical dermatology, know that you're going to visit a clinic that cares. Tureen Dermatology has 9 locations. Dr. Mohiba Tureen is my derm. But there are board-certified providers at every one of those 9 locations to take care of you. Don't forget about Glow-Tox for a great cause. Enjoy the treatment on that event date, November 11th, or book it for a later date. Either way, the proceeds go to this great cause. TureenDermatology.com today to reserve your spot. And go there now if you need an appointment. TureenDermatology.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Do you have a dark curiosity? Heart Starts Pounding, Horrors, Hauntings, and Mysteries is a weekly podcast hosted by me, Kaylin Moore. Each week, I'll take you on a dark journey through terrifying true urban legends, bizarre true crime cases, chilling tales of backwoods horror, and more. So if you're looking to join a passionate community of the darkly curious, check out Heart Starts Pounding on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, stay curious.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
One time I listened to CCO after 3 p.m. Worst mistake ever.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
So let's go in depth on this issue of a potential teacher strike, an educator strike, really. These are teachers, these are support staff. This is a lot of people and a major potential disruption for all of the parents and the students in the Minneapolis Public School District. So the issues facing Minneapolis are issues similar to every one of the major urban school districts in the country. Students are choosing to go to neighboring districts. They're enrolling in charter schools. Post-COVID, there has been an enrollment decline or flattening, but the cost of paying people and running schools continues to go up. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time with Katina Taylor and Marcia Howard. Those are the presidents of the Educators Federation, and they join us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline, where we begin with the question about whether this is realistic. We know that every school district in the state just about is asking voters for extra money because budget times are tough. We know that Minneapolis Public Schools has talked about a decline in enrollment. How realistic is it to come in right now and say, we need a 6 or 8 or giant raise?
Look, we know for sure that over the last 2 years that Minneapolis public schools have had a surge in enrollment from our immigrant students. We know that for a fact. We also know that for many, many, many years and for many contracts, I've been in this district over 27 years, and I've seen them sing the same old song over and over every time we are in negotiations.
I will say, I've also been in this district for 27 years. We will, for the sake of argument, agree that we are in new times. I think people across the country understand what straits all public education districts are in. And we don't even have to say why.
Yeah, it's not, and it's not unique to Minneapolis. It is big city public school districts often are dealing with these same challenges.
Absolutely. And that is why our union went over and over again to the table and proffered solutions to the other team and say, hey, let's work together to increase revenue, to get our families back. Only 50% of the eligible students who could come to Minneapolis and bring revenue with them come to Minneapolis, choose this district. How do we make Minneapolis a destination district? We listen to parents. And what did parents say overwhelmingly? They wanted smaller class sizes. So we have offered them solutions, and many of them are no cost in order to make this a destination district, including some that would retain teachers and have safe and stable classrooms. And so we can't wait to get back to the table to talk to the powers that be on how to, put our heads together and come up with a solution. It's been 7 months of negotiations, and it really shouldn't have gotten to this point.
And St. Paul got this worked out, and they are dealing with some of the similar circumstances as well. Marcia and Katina, one of the things I've talked about with all of our public school districts is sort of an unwillingness by school boards to deal with reality. So they don't close school buildings or consolidate or re-envision sort of the way to get things done. Not saying that you need fewer teachers or fewer educational support professionals. You certainly don't. But we may need fewer buildings based on what enrollment is. Do you look at some of those financial decisions that are happening at the school board level and scratch your heads and say, why don't they take more bold action?
We looked at the school board's commitment to school transformation, and looking at building allocations was part of it. But right now we are asking, and begging the school board and the people in the district to commit to looking at how they allocate the funds that they have now in order to put those funding to where it matters most, closer to the students. In Minneapolis, sadly, it's not that way. We have a district where it's top heavy in bureaucratic spending and purchase service agreements.
Is class size the biggest issue? Is it pay? Because I know teachers are asking for pay raises to bring Minneapolis in line with St. Paul. So looking for 7% in 2025 to 26, 6% the next year. ESPs looking at 12 and 10%. I mean, those are big numbers when the perception is anyway that the district is in financial tough straits.
Yeah, that's the perception, but what's perceived is not always true.
You don't buy it? You don't buy it,
top,
Katina?
I don't buy it. I'm going to give you our top priorities, okay? And I will say that we are one union, 2 chapters, and 3 contracts. We have changed our name from the Minneapolis Federation of Teachers to the Minneapolis Federation of Educators. That way, every member will know that they are welcomed, and this is their union. So that way, educational support professionals and other related service professionals understand and know that this is one union, okay?
And with that being said, this is Marcia again. Our adult educators are licensed educators with expertise, for instance, and they are asking for pay parity.
I know. And then not only that, ESPs are asking for vacation accrual because our district is trying to make that disappear.
Mm-hmm.
We're asking for longevity pay, you know what I mean? And
for our veteran educators.
For our veteran educators that's been here 20 and 30 years.
And these are things that actually don't have a high ticket. This is what we are asking our district to envision. And what we're seeing is this lack or gap of imagination.
Do you guys worry that striking, if in fact you end up striking again after striking 3 years ago, that this idea of having stability, that just the act of teacher strikes might be an instability that causes parents to go elsewhere?
I can tell you what's really a notable act of instability. I had a school lose 13 teachers, 13 career educators. One school lost a third of its staff because of that instability. I think that had more of an impact than folks remembering a strike from a few years ago.
Marcia Howard and Katina Taylor with the Minneapolis Federation of Educators. We appreciate you both. We'll check in over the coming days and weeks and cheer for a fair resolution on Thursday. Thank you both so much.
Thank you for having us.
Drive Time with DeRusha back in just a minute here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
You talking to me?
I mean, yeah, we're talking to you.
You talking to me?
Still you. It's literally what we do.
You talking to me?
Yep. News, traffic, weather, the Twins. We talk about it all with you.
Well, who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
Look, if you're in Minnesota, we're probably talking to you.
Well, I'm the only one here.
Oh, even better. One-on-one. Just how we like it.
Yeah, we're talking to you, Minnesota. Here you get real conversation, real connection. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jimmy.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-848-2299. 800-848-2299. Again, that's 800-848-2299.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Watching slowdowns at 35E, both directions, between 94 and Highway 13. Traveling 494, both directions, between Portland Avenue and Highway 13. Going to find slow traffic there, especially across the River Bridge. 35W southbound slows across the Minnesota River Bridge, 106th Street to Highway 13. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast time. It has been raining all day. Kind of, doesn't do you a lot of good now. All right. Here's Chris Shake.
The rain showers will move out tonight. We'll drop back to about 44. Mostly cloudy conditions the next couple of days. We should have highs around 53, which is a degree or two above average. Then we slip below average. A little chill on Halloween Day. Mostly cloudy with a high of 48. Temps likely running in the low to mid 40s during trick-or-treat time. Should stay dry, though. Scattered showers don't reappear till Sunday.
Osseo, it's 50 degrees and cloudy, sun setting. I can't wait to turn the clock back here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha, video streaming live on YouTube and always, and I mean always, on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
So we've been talking about the teachers in Minneapolis and the educators. The union is now called the Federation of Educators because they got a teachers chapter and they've got the education support. They have all the different chapters in one house right now. And I just think it is going to be very difficult right now when our school districts are dealing with increased costs, the same increased costs that every company has, right? Insurance is more, benefits are more, electricity is more, everything is more. I have maintained for a long time that our school districts are in denial, that they are cowards in not closing underutilized buildings because you know what? We don't have as many kids today as we used to have. We just don't. And parents come to the school board and complain. The school board chickens out. They just won't close buildings. And so before you can really figure out what the correct budget is going to be, to me, you have to take a look at what the population is and be a little more realistic. And so going on strike, asking for a raise, do the teachers deserve the raise? Yes, without question. Without question. Is there money to pay for the raise? No. Kevin's in Anoka. Kevin, what's your take on this?
2 quick points. The point of going on strike is that you believe your boss is cheaper to give you more money than it would be to hire your replacement and pay for the retraining. Second of all, 60 to 75% of the kids in this state can't do math, reading, or science at grade level. They should be on their knees, crawling across the street, begging to keep their jobs at a 25% pay cut. They absolutely are nothing more than glorified daycare providers.
Kevin, come on. You blame the teachers for that situation?
The entire system is unionized. Every single one of those people in the union should be fired. They get absolutely zero repercussions for 75% of the kids are illiterate.
Well, what about every administrator? What about every principal? What about every legislator that passed these goofy reading standards that didn't work? Why are you blaming the teachers who are just carrying out? They can't read?
My wife works at a grocery store and she has to hire these kids. They're 17 years old and they can't make change. They don't know how many dimes are in a dollar.
Well, I'm not arguing with you about the results. We have a massive issue with results. But
$13,000 a kid and they're illiterate.
Why not? I think there's a difference between not achieving reading scores, levels and targets and being illiterate. But say we concede your point. Is the solution to fire the teachers? Then what do you got? What's the backup? Then who takes over?
Literally anybody could do a better job. In order to graduate high school, you have to be able to read a newspaper. Newspapers are written at an 8th grade level, unless you're reading Investor Business Daily. If you can't read a newspaper and you're graduating the 12th grade, whose fault is that?
Well, what about every administrator, every teacher training, every curriculum specialist, every superintendent? You got a lot of people on the top end here that, to me, I would hold responsible before I go after every teacher. Either way, I mean, Kevin, I love the call, but I think you're out of your mind. 651-461-9226. You can respond. Does Kevin know, says one texter, that doctors are unionized and patients' health is terrible? Well, I think there's some fairness there. Texter Jason, I don't think I'll vote for this caller for the school board. So I do think that education today is more complicated than it's ever been. You've got government mandates up the wazoo. You have well-intentioned and probably correct mandates to provide an education for kids no matter what their learning challenge is. So I just think we have to be realistic that as a society, we like to bellyache about teachers and bellyache about schools. But if our kid needs some sort of specialized learning plan, we're in the principal's office bellyaching about how under the law, they have to take care of whatever our kid's specific need is. And it's different from how it was when we grew up. When we grew up, you had one teacher teaching one way, and that was it. Now you have a teacher teaching to every different kid's individualized learning plan, and it's just different. Now, do we have more kids with special needs? Yes. Do we have more active parents advocating for the kid? Also, yes. My parents were advocating for the school. There was no interest in what my needs were in the classroom other than I better do what they told me to do. That's what it was. So the world is different today, and to act like, oh, well, the teacher should just be teaching kids to read. Well, let's be realistic at all of the things that teachers are being expected to do. And then all of the drama and all of the issues that kids are coming to school with, teachers have to deal with that. Texter echoing my point. We have to take care of every single need of any child. It is expensive. It is expensive. And so all of these mandates feel good, right? You wouldn't disagree with any of them. Like, yes, we should have kids who are on the autism spectrum. They should be integrated in the classroom. Sure. We don't want everybody pulled out and specialized and whatever. Well, it's hard. It's expensive. And is there money for that? No. And so it's mandate after mandate after mandate with no funding. And now the schools are like, well, what are we supposed to do? In the meantime, parents in this state are like, well, I don't want my kid going to this school, and it's off to the nearest suburb, or drive your kid off to this school, or now it's this charter school. And so it's very difficult to address the challenges of the educational system when we sort of have this halfway solution of saying, well, parents, you do have the choice to go do whatever you want with your kid. It's difficult. And I feel for the teachers because, look, all of these issues are not really your problem, right? But the same is true if you're a Target employee or if you work at this radio station. Do I think I deserve more money? Yes. Do I think Dan deserves more money? Yes. Dan deserves more money than I do, to be honest. But at the same time, you have to say, like, we're not going to get money. We got to make money to do it. It's a business, right? It's a business. Schools don't have an infinite pool of money. And to raise the tax rate, you got to go to the public and get a vote. And are people going to vote? I don't know. Are they going to approve? I don't know. Texter, I'm so tired of people hounding about unions. It is a standard in America. We have a higher standard of living, healthcare, family, because of the union. I do think in this state, as we try to get to the bottom of why we have all of these unfunded mandates. And some of this comes from the federal government. But the reality is the teachers union, which I do not blame teachers, and I am very pro-union. I do not blame any union for, unions should be ridiculous in what they're asking for their members. That's their job, to advocate for their members. But I do think the union has become too involved in the policy-making aspect of education. And so the union, while I disagree wholeheartedly with the message that Kevin was raising, I do think because the teachers union has an outsized voice in policy and curriculum in our legislative process in this state, for sure. Don't act like the teachers union has no voice. They do. It's a liberal state with DFLers in power, and the teachers union has access to that. And so should the union have to respond to the failures in the classroom? Can they just blame that on administrators or lack of funding or whatever? I don't think so. I don't think so. I do think there is some responsibility there. Texter, the administration is top heavy. Methods change too often. Teachers are told there is a new way to try when the teachers are just grasping the current method. The data gathering is an unbearable load. Kids are responding to how they are raised, which is often by screens. Parents support the kid, not the misbehaving child. The whole system is broken, and more money won't fix it, says Elizabeth in St. Paul. Man, I cannot disagree with a single thing that Elizabeth just said there. I think that is 100% correct. John from Blaine is a teacher, says, I do think the problems come from money being spent at the top level rather than in the classroom. My class sizes keep going up. I have to worry about each individual kid's learning needs way more than in the past. Administrators seemingly only care about failure rates. So the bar has been massively lowered because we're getting hounded about failure rates. It's not about learning anymore. It's about passing. So the bar keeps getting lowered. I do think that I think about this often, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong about this, but we have this belief today, and I think it's partially because of the computer and digital age, and that you can have a dashboard for everything and track everything, that we can put a number and track every single thing that every classroom does. And so even when Dan and I were in school, our parents would complain about how they're just teaching to the test, but it's next level now. There are more tests. It's publicly available data. And while I do think that having metrics and being able to track whether your schools are succeeding or failing is important, I don't know, where's it getting us? Are we getting better outcomes? Are kids more prepared to enter the workforce because we track the living crap out of everything? Or is this just an unbearable administrative load that has created this massive group of administrators? And it's easy to say we don't need all these administrators, but look at all the data reporting requirements. Texter, has anybody ever started from the beginning and said, like, hey, this is where your children's at. Let's outline a path for their career and then figure out an outline on how you would do it to head down the path. I do think about this as well. And this is way bigger than the Minneapolis public school teachers thinking about whether or not they're going to strike. But man, if you were going to design a school system today, wouldn't it be different? Like the schools today are trying to teach new methods, the latest technology for like, this is the best way to teach reading. And then at the same time, they're also pretty much structured the same way they were structured 50 years ago when you and I were stepping into kindergarten for the first time. Well, 45. Let's not get carried away. So it is this weird combination of like trying to be of the present time, but also sort of very anchored in the old way of doing things. It's hard. I feel for teachers. Now, the latest learning on how to teach reading is actually the old way, the way that we were taught phonics and sounding things out. And it is true that right now there are southern states like Mississippi that have better reading scores than us. And we are, the state did pass new reading standards. So, we are going to teach that way. But you got to bear in mind that you've got all these teachers who have gone through a whole educational system learning to teach the new way. And now they have to learn how to do the old way. It's just different. It's different. Texter says, one of my teacher friends needs to call your show. Kevin has no clue what it takes to be a teacher. I don't know that we need a teacher to give the other side of Kevin. I think we get it, right? You guys get it. I understand where Kevin's coming from. I'm just saying that the reality is to lay the blame on teachers when it's really a complicated, like failure of parenting, failure on an administrative level. There's failure all around. For me, the failure is a lack of urgency. This is what, if I were to have one beef with our current DFL administration in the state, it is that I don't sense the urgency around the issue of turning around our kids' academic performance. And I would like to see more urgency. Because right now, when school districts are asking for more money, I do understand when people say, like, hey, I'm happy to pay more, but we got to get some results. Now, the screwy part about this is no other unit of government ever has to go with their hands out and passing the hat, asking for you to renew an authorization. School districts have to do that. Does the county have to do that? No, they just set a levy. You elect people to the county board, they set a levy. If you look at schools, the way we fund our schools, to me, is goofy. I do wish that when we had the Democratic trifecta in the state, when we had the chance to really do something bold and change the way we do education in the state, they shanked it. They didn't even try. Is the way to fund education to have, like, some of the money come from the state, but if you're in a rich school district, people are more willing to say yes to these levies and to these ballot initiatives. So you have this unequal educational system around the state. I don't know. That doesn't sit real well with me. Is it smart to have the formula based on the number of students? When the reality is, I think we know that kids who go to Minneapolis or St. Paul public schools in the inner city are going to have a lot different challenges than the kids who are going to the Mound School District or Deep Haven. So why is it per student? Does that make sense? There was an opportunity to really bring some new thinking to the table, and we're not seeing that, are we? Appreciate your guys' input on this. This wasn't what we planned on doing, but it's your show. You got thoughts? We'll take it where you want to go. It is 5:48. We'll break in a minute. I want to spend a little time talking about mentorship because the man who had the single largest impact on my career passed away, died overnight. A lesson from him in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm Karen Heinz with Baird Private Wealth Management. For many of us, life is busy. Balancing family, career, friends, and community, plus finding the time and focus to keep your family's financial plan on track can be a challenge. At Baird, we understand. Our advisors partner with you to create a financial plan that's uniquely yours, one that gives you peace of mind and confidence so you can focus on what matters most. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdTwinCities.com.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Experience John Mueller's Winter Dance Party at Treasure Island. The tribute show is the official live recreation of Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Boppers' final tour. Boogie to Peggy Sue, La Bamba, and more. Friday, January 23rd. Get your tickets at ticasino.com.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder and scanned without you. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HoldTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought by Amber Scholl of Scholl & Associates, American Family Insurance. 35W northbound, still a little bit of congestion. Lake Street to 94. East 94 slows into St. Paul's, Maple between Riverside and Snelling Avenue. Protect what matters most with Amber Scholl of Scholl & Associates. With American Family Insurance, from your home to your car to your dreams, Amber Scholl and her team are here to help you every step of the way. Call Amber Scholl today at 651-738-4811 to learn more. Visit amfam.com. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
No one knows Twin Cities businesses like locals. With decades of experience here in the Twin Cities, Robert Half connects skilled professionals in finance, technology, admin, and more. Visit roberthalf.com/Twin Cities.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Visit roberthalf.com/Twin Cities tonight. Low of 44. Tomorrow, 53. It's going to be 53 throughout the rest of the week. So a decent Halloween. Right now, it is 50 on CCO.
Broadcasting from the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship Studio. This is News Talk 830 WCCO. Single game tickets are on sale now at worldjuniorsmn26.com.
Better tomorrows. Good night and better tomorrows. Good night and better tomorrows.
That is the voice of my mentor. Jerry Taff was the biggest single impact on my career. When I was a college student in Milwaukee, freshman year, fellow student, Nikki Searles, came up to me at Marquette Student TV Station. And I was the executive producer of a news magazine show, and she was my reporter. And she asked me if I wanted an internship. I was like, of course I do. She's like, well, I'm interning with Jerry Taff, and my internship is over. I'm like, I love it. She vouched for me. Jerry hired me. And I started my television career at WISN TV in Milwaukee because of a guy from Texas who became the voice of Milwaukee news. Jerry was the biggest impact on my life. He was my mentor. He hired me. He got me my first job in radio at an AM radio station in Hales Corners, Wisconsin, with a rickety screen door surrounded by corn. Today, I think back and think anybody could have walked in there and taken that station off the air. Jerry hosted the Elvis Hour because he was a big Elvis fan. And I would go in there with him as he recorded that show, and then I got a job, board hopping. Then eventually I got to host my own Sunday morning show. I interned at ABC News in New York because Jerry called Peter Jennings' secretary once a week and said, did you hire Jason yet? All of the other interns were people connected to network big shots, rich kids from the East Coast, blue blood, fancy schools. And I interned at ABC News because Jerry cared enough to mentor a young kid from suburban Chicago. That catchphrase that he said at the end of every broadcast would have been cheesy from anybody else. Good night and better tomorrows. And I asked him about that. We talked all the time. Jerry would take me to dinner during his break, and then I got hired at that TV station, came back, was a reporter, got to have my mentor throw to me live in the field. It was amazing. But good night and better tomorrows, what is that about? And he said that it started organically. There was a really rough news day, and at the end, it just came to him to say good night like he did every night, but to also send out that message of hope that tomorrow there would be a better tomorrow. It's something I've thought about throughout my career, that every time when we say goodbye, even on the hardest, most difficult news day, that tomorrow could be better. We want tomorrow to be better. Jerry taught me to be myself. He taught me that it was okay to be, like he was one year, voted the most popular news anchor in Milwaukee. And on that same survey, he was voted the most hated news anchor in Milwaukee. That if you stay true and loyal to the audience, that you'd know when to fight with the management, because your job was to be there for the people. Jerry always was. He was always there for me, too. We stayed in touch after his retirement. But, never enough. On a day like today, when I learned that he died last night, I am filled with regret that I didn't book that flight and go see Jerry in Texas where he had retired. He told me I could steal it. He told me I could steal the line, but I never could. But tonight I say to Jerry and to you, good night and better tomorrow.
Get 50% off installation labor on GAF asphalt shingles.